Hey folks, this is Wistful Deal here, and I just got back from seeing Spider Man Across the Spider Verse earlier today with my family, and honestly, it was really good. I really loved it. Everything about it, I really loved. Everything was mostly good except one small little thing. I'll get into that later in this video here. But for now, I honestly gotta say the animation, firstly, from the previous film is even better. And I didn't even think that achievement was even possible, but they somehow managed to pull it off. The animation is not only a little bit, I don't know if there's really a huge difference, but there's definitely a big creativity in this film with the Spider Verse. There's all sorts of different animations and whatnot, and there's just all kinds of stuff in it. There's even live action bits in this, which is just amazing. That really blew me away. This film is really good and amazing. It's more on the character development side and more on the emotional and heart side to it rather than actual action. And I feel like that's more of a good thing in a sense. You get to know the characters more. You definitely get to know a lot more on Gwen Stacy compared to the previous film and everything. And I feel like for the beginning of it, we dive deep into her universe, her world, and everything, and we tap into her family life and her struggles and everything and her backstory. I don't want to spoil too much of anything, but we tap in a bit to her world and the struggles that she goes through, and we get to tap into Miles' world and what he goes through in a sense and everything, and it all works really well with the characters set up and everything. It works really well with all of the new characters that get introduced and the old ones. It all flows really well and really together. The music is really good. The emotion is heavily good. The story is really good. But the only problem is, honestly, I have with this film is the ending. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing or anything. I just feel like it's the biggest downgrade of it. Because with this film, the ending makes this film feel very incomplete. The story feels incomplete, and I kind of mean that in a sort of bad way. I'm not saying like it's a horrible way or anything that doesn't leave plot holes or anything at all, or confused mysteries or whatever. But I just feel like it's just one of those things where it feels like a Deathly Hollows Part 1 and Part 2 in a sense with Harry Potter. This feels more like a setup film to the actual climax, but it's not anything bad or horrible in any way. I just feel like the ending could have been maybe a little bit better or whatnot, because this film feels like it's incomplete, and I feel like once the third and final installment to the film comes out, I feel like I'm probably gonna have a little bit of a different view on this film once the third one and the final come out and we can actually get the full picture. It's not anything bad or anything horrible in any way at all. It's just a kind of a bit of a disappointment in my eyes. But overall, that's nothing too big of a downgrade because this film is such a thrill ride to get into. I mean, it's truly a roller coaster of a film to watch. There's a lot of huge action. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of characters. There's two antagonists, but there's one that's the main villain, and I feel like he makes such an amazing threat to it. He's the spot guy, and he makes an amazing threat to it. Whereas there's this other spider. I won't. I'm gonna try not to get into too much spoilers, but we kind of meet the head king of him and everything, and he's kind of a grunt asshole, whatever. And he's the alpha male macho sort of type. He doesn't really rule with an iron fist, but he's definitely the alpha of the whole Spider group or whatever, front and center. We meet Parker B again in this film, which I thought was really nice and cute with what they continued with him. The older Spider-Man that was kind of, a grump or whatever because he had a hard life before, whatever, back in the previous film. It was nice to see him again. There's a lot of action sequences that are really good and fun and amazing. There's not really too much villains. There's only one main villain, and then there's like the antagonist, and that's really kind of pretty much it. It's a lot more on heart and everything, a lot more on struggle and not only finding your own purpose and everything, but working together as a team and everything. I feel like what they did with the characters, in a sense, and family issues, I feel like is really well done. And I feel like this is a film where Miles actually becomes Spider Man. Yeah, he was Spider Man before and everything, but it feels like he becomes his own independent Spider Man. He becomes his own, like, he follows his own rules in the sense of what it means to become Spider Man instead of listening to the others on how to be Spider Man. I feel like overall this film is really good. There's so much creativity with this film. We're not just talking different animation styles and everything. I think I mentioned live action before. There's a lot of video game Spider-Mans. There's the Insomniac Spider-Man from the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man made by Insomniac. That game that took me by surprise. There's even freaking a bunch of bits of live action scenes from like Tobey Maguire or Tom Holland or Andrew Garfield, whatever the hell. But there's just definitely some cute snippets. There's some 60s Spider-Man or whatever, an 80s one, a freaking Rockstar one. There's a huge, and I mean a huge variety of Spider men and women here, and I feel like overall this film is really amazing and truly, truly good. I don't want to keep repeating myself over and over again, but I would definitely say, other than the ending that makes this film feel, the story feel incomplete without it or whatever, this film is overall a must go see and must go watch. Even if you're not a huge Spider Man fan or don't really care much about it, I would still feel like this is a really good film. It's a really good story and everything. A really good sequel to the previous predecessor of what it built up and everything. And I feel like this film is overall truly amazing and truly a good film to go see. If you folks have not seen this film, I would definitely highly recommend to go check it out and go watch it or whatever. Don't pirate it or steal it or anything, because this film is really good, and I feel like, and I believe even with the time that Sony Pictures had, it's really amazing to me how they managed to pull it off. The animation, like I said, is really good. It's probably some of the best I'm gonna get in a while, unless Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, the third one, comes out, which is set to be sometime next year, which is amazing to me. I was thinking that maybe it was gonna be 2 to 3 years or whatever, which is why I felt like the ending to this film was even kind of a bit more of a disappointment, because I wasn't expecting this film, and I wasn't expecting the third sequel to be like 4 or 5 years or anything, but I was expecting the next one to at least be 2 to 3 years. But no, it's actually gonna be a year and a half or so from now. It's like less than a year away or so, which is amazing to me with how they even pulled it off with this film and everything. And it's overall really good and amazing, other than the sudden ending drop, which it's a disappointment, but it's it's not because of the film or anything. It's just I felt like it just made me crave. It made me crave a bit more or something, you know, because the story does feel incomplete. It's the same thing of how I feel with Hogwarts, not Hogwarts, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part One. It's like one of those cliffhangers where you want to just get straight into the action. You want to, you know, skip to the action. You just want to see what happens next, and you don't really want to wait on it. Again, my opinion may change. I don't think it would change too much, but yeah, once the third one comes out. But overall, I have to say, I don't want to keep rambling over and over again. But overall, with this film, it's really good. It's a must go see. Go check this film out. It's really good, and I just love about everything about it. So with that, overall, folks, I hope you all enjoyed this video here. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, hit subscribe for more, and I'll see you all sooner or later. Bye bye, everybody.